is Chris Folayan. I'm originally born and raised in Nigeria. I am the CEO of MallforAfrica. MallforAfrica is a platform that helps US and UK retailers sell into Africa and other emerging markets at no risk. The at no risk part is the important part, which is where we take care of payments, we take care of last mile delivery, customer service, and the list goes on and on. But we basically ensure that US and UK retailers can sell into the continent of Africa without worrying about anything whatsoever. Most of the times, merchants are worried about fraud, payment issues, shipping and logistics, customs clearing, last mile delivery, but we take care of all of them. E-commerce movement is building in Africa in an amazing way. We have over 1.3 billion people on the continent. The ability for people to buy products online has increased over time. Internet costs is coming down. Mobile penetration is going up because mobile phones are getting cheaper. So people have access now more than ever before to the internet. And when you give people access to the internet and access to do things on their phone, they just buy more. And many governments are also investing in the technology and in the user base in order to get Africa really on track. So Africa is something everybody should really think about when it comes to e-commerce. With MallforAfrica, the African community has an amazing potential. We provide them with access to stuff that they do not have access to if it wasn't for our platform. I'll give you an example. Many US and UK stores only have products that are available in the US or in the UK. But if you want to buy a product to start your business, for your family or for your loved ones, if you want a product, you can't actually get that product without a platform like ours. So we're that sweet spot middle layer company that ensures that people in Africa who have funds and who can buy products, they can actually buy products from these companies in the US and in the UK who not necessarily accept those funds. So you might have a local currency, you might be in Kenya, and over 90% of people in Kenya pay with a currency called M-Pesa, a mobile currency called M-Pesa. Now, does Nordstrom's or Macy's accept M-Pesa? No, they don't. But with our platform, we can enable you to buy something with M-Pesa from Nordstrom's or Macy's. And do those stores ship to Africa directly? No. But with our platform, they ship to our warehouse, and then from our warehouse, we get it to the customer that wants to buy the product in Africa. We've started businesses, we've helped schools, we've been there to, provide women with their wedding dresses for those amazing days, wedding rings. We've been there for many people, and it's not just the people up on top that's, have a lot of discretionary cash. We also help taxi drivers, we help mechanics buy parts for their cars, and the list goes on and on. So we're very proud of what we do for the continent. Challenges of doing business in Africa are a lot. The first one I would say is getting users to know that you exist and that you're legit, because many businesses come and go, and on the continent there is definitely a trust factor that people have to take account to. So if you're doing business in Africa and you're not a well-known brand, you're going to have to really climb a very steep hill in order for people to trust you and trust your brand. So that's the biggest one. And then you also have to figure out how you ride the waves of all the interesting political and social dynamic changes that take place on a very regular basis. You're gonna have to understand that, this country might act and work this way, but this other country, even though it might be the neighbor of another country in Africa, acts a totally different way. So you have to have some local support, local knowledge, local insights in order to do business in Africa to an extent that anybody would want to. So you really have to have your hand on the pulse of each country in Africa, and that's not easy. On an average, for an order to be delivered from the US to Africa for our platform is 3 days, which is super fast. We recognize that, but that's something we've worked very hard to get. Because of our model, we work with over 250 retailers. When they send something to our warehouse that was bought by someone in Kenya or Nigeria, for example, from the point it gets to our warehouse, it takes 3 days to get to the customer in Nigeria. So it might take a day to get to our warehouse and then 3 days from our warehouse to Nigeria. So that's a total of 4 days from the day it was ordered. The products that sell the most on our platform by far are clothes, or is clothes, by far. Baby clothes number 1, women clothes number 2, men clothes number 3. By a good mile, clothes sell tremendously well on our platform. That's our sweet spot. Over 50% of what we sell on our platform is clothes. We partner with brands in the US and in the UK, and we also just have our plugins on different sites, but we work very closely with many retailers in the US and UK. So it's a partnership hybrid where they know what we do, they want us to help them penetrate into Africa, so they call us and they contact us and we work together. But it's more of a hybrid method where they know, hey, if this is MallforAfrica buying the product, you know, it's definitely going to Africa, so no problems whatsoever. So we have a very good relationship with our partners because it's hard for them to do what we do themselves. So they like working with us. We offer returns, but interestingly enough, most people do not use our platform for returns. And I'll tell you why, which many people find very interesting. When you buy a product from our platform and you have it shipped to Nigeria, for example, and it doesn't fit, you don't like the color for some reason. So it is what you bought, but you don't like what you bought. You sell it to your friends. Believe it or not, that's what we found people to do. So our returns for the entire 2018 year was 0.8%. Most people will return only the very, very expensive stuff. So if you buy, you know, $5,000 pair of shoes, you probably can't find anybody that wants to buy those pair of shoes or anything like that. So for those kinds of customers, and there are only a few, they would have a return. But many of our customers buy the product. If it doesn't fit, they'll sell it to a friend and they'll make money. With so many payment scams, we have generated trust in our customers in a very interesting way. We developed our very own payment platform where the customer pays us locally and they can fund their card. It's called a MallforAfrica web card, or they can pay us with a credit card or a local payment method. We verify the customer and we verify the funds are in our account and there's no fraud from the customer standpoint. And then they can use the platform to purchase. So it's something like a gift card. You can load an account with a gift card that you bought from a store, but for us, it's just one platform. So you load your account with $100. We have verified you as a customer. We have verified the funds are legit from you as a customer. Now you can go to our platform, shop from over 250 sites, and spend your $100. But we have verified it. Now, when we buy the product from the merchant on your behalf, we already know your money is real. We then pay the merchant sends it to us and we send it to you. So we've created a pretty unique system to alleviate and decrease fraud significantly. Our fraud levels are less than 1% also, which is pretty cool and amazing, mostly when you're working with the continent of Africa. So we're very proud of what we've built to alleviate fraud. Not easy, had to build it from the ground up. But as entrepreneurs, you always have to do something tough in order to make things work. So in starting MallforAfrica, it was not easy. I started it because I was trying to get on a flight to Nigeria, which is where I'm from, and I was not able to catch the flight because I had a ton of suitcases. The people had told me, hey, can you order this? Can you order that? Can you order this? Because they could see the sites, they could see the products on the sites, but they could not access the products. That's really how it started. I was like, wow, I can fix this. I can come up with a solution. So I think as entrepreneurs, what we have to do is try and find something personal to us and see how we can fix it in order to improve the lives of others. Now, it might not be easy, it might not be hard, but whatever you do, you have to put your heart and soul into it. There's always going to be option A, B, C, D, E, and F. I went to option Z1, Z2, Z3 in my business. We had some very tough times, but we still tried to make it work. We were so close to closing on several occasions due to many interesting issues, but we kept at it. If it's easy, it's probably not going to be that good a business because somebody else can do it. So you have to make sure that hurdle is pretty high and set your standards high. But at the end of the day, you can definitely do it. So whatever the idea is that, people are thinking about, just make sure you give it some thoughts and put a lot of energy into it, and I'm pretty sure it will succeed.